Hello, I'm Jessica from But First We Craft, and today I'm going to teach you how to do a very basic watercolor card. So I say basic because I am a very beginner too, so don't feel like you can't do it. What you're going to do is color an entire page of watercolor, and I recently discovered that watercolor looks good on construction paper too. Who knew? Not me. So if you only have construction paper, totally fine. This is watercolor paper, so you do a big entire huge sheet, and then you chop it up into little cards. Cute, eh? So all you need for this, paintbrush. I use a big one with the point, the round of the point, because you're going to use the point to do the point of the heart. So big one, optional little one. I only ever did big ones, so we'll see what I get into right now. Something to cut it up. I like my paper cutter, but if you only have scissors, also fine. Watercolor paints, water. Optional markers to do the little hearts on it. I got my metallic Sharpies for Christmas, so I'm definitely going to use that. Okay, here we go. All you need to know, super easy, wet your brush. If you want to wet your paints ahead of time, I did, so you can just spray like that if you want to. Or you can, sometimes I go over the tap and just dribble it on. Anyway, as I'm saying, this is basic. And if I'm doing things wrong, let me know in the comments because it would be nice for me to learn more too. Okay, so I'm starting with a very light pink. Ready? Point. See that? Point. So you can see, or not, that the color is pooling at the bottom of the heart and then coming up. And then you just do that all over your page. Honestly, my paints, the light pink is really not that nice. It's too light. So I'm gonna switch right away. I'm gonna go red. Nice, rich, delightful red. I'm not gonna fast forward or zoom or anything here, so I'm gonna cover my page in the time it takes me to cover my page, pausing for sips of tea, so feel free to skip on past to the end. See, look at that one. So another two options you have are, see how fast they are? They're so pretty. And I have 9 and 10-year-old daughters and they can do them. I assume littler people can too. So two options. You see here I did half facing up and half facing down. I turned my page to do them. So you're doing hearts upside down. And then this one I just painted them all the same direction. So here, I don't know what I'm gonna do actually, because you can do, see this one's upside down because that's where the page met the other page. So maybe I'll do both directions. So all you're gonna do, point, see how rich that is compared to that? And then as you go, I like to go kind of one side and then the other side, because as the paint gets used up, it gets too light. Okay, I'm gonna do a couple more. I really like putting the blue with it, because then it's like if you give it to boys, it's not as girly. And then you can also mix them. Big part of watercolor is like mixing the shades. I'm not doing that. I'm watering it down a little bit. See, and that's too watered, so we're gonna add some more pigment. My fancy words. Okay. And very important, when you're turning your page, don't tip it, because all those little points that are so rich in color are gonna run down your page. See, these humps aren't as nice. So I'm just filling in the humps. And you know what? Kids like colors too, so you could do like all the colors if you wanted to. Tea time. Okay, flip. Why am I going backwards? Because I feel like it. Let's do yellow. I'm running out of yellow because it's so lovely and dark. This doesn't look like a nice yellow, actually. I've mixed it in with blue, it looks like, so that might actually be really ugly. So I'm gonna be fancy and mix it with orange. kind of looks like brown. Okay, never mind. I'm not doing that. We're gonna go purple. I'm feeling rushed because I feel like I'm boring you, but you know what? Turn it off, skip it. I'm just gonna try and calm down a little bit. I feel like my hand's even shaking. This is not supposed to be stressful. This is supposed to be the easy watercolor where you just do whatever you feel like. That looks really stupid. There. Okay, so it turns out I'm just gonna do a huge purple one. That looks really dumb. So I'm gonna go over here and do some other ones, get some of the water off my brush. So you can see that these are, I'm almost making them too wide. So if I put the points closer together, so I'm gonna wait until my brush has less paint on it, and then I'm gonna go back and take some color off of that. See, thank you. There. That's better. That better. Also, you gotta be careful once you get going that you don't put your hand into your work. And also remember that usually people get Valentine's Day cards and they read them and then throw them out. So if one little spot isn't perfect, doesn't matter. Okay, what'd you think? Good? I might actually try pink again. Would that be stupid? I don't know which one I tried. See, these pinks in this palette are not that good. Some of them are really nice, some of the colors, but the pink is just kind of dull. I might mix it with another. See if I can. Yeah, that's kind of nice. Oh, see there, I used just the tip of my brush and it made these cute little guys. Oh yeah, that's precious. Oops, that's not. The other nice thing about this is if you screw up one section and you're like, that's so bad I can't even show anybody, just throw out that one, right? This is gonna make like 8 cards. And the other nice thing about this is, you know what? I'm not a math girl and I keep screwing up my measurements. So it'll be like, this is 11 inches. Okay, so I know that that's 5.5, right? And then on my measuring, I do it wrong, but it doesn't matter because they don't need to be the same size. I often do this listening to my audiobook, and it's very peaceful. Or I sit and listen to Adventures in Odyssey with my little kids, and that's very pleasant too. Okay, I think I'm gonna fill in a couple more blue. Oh, I hope I'm not mumbling too much. More blue. And that seems watery, so I'm just gonna use a little bit. See, there's no blue in the square at all. Okay, that's not working. You can also, like, if you want to, you can go off the edge. But I don't want to, so I'm not going to. Okay, one thing I've learned, we have a friend who's an amazing watercolorer, Katie, and so she says don't leave your brushes in the water because it'll wreck. Honestly, I don't know, the glue or the bristles. The point is don't do it. So now I'm gonna get my metallic Sharpies. I use silver on this one. It's very pretty. And I'm gonna use gold on this one. Don't lean your hand in your wet paint. Some of these are drying pretty quickly too, so I don't feel super worried. Remember, if you're going both directions, to actually go both directions. I am going to make more of these, and I'm hoping to do a blog post on it. So check those out for more inspiration, because I'm going to try one that I'm going to do just a cluster of hearts across the top, both directions, and then cut those up and then write something on them like God is love. If you haven't seen my other Valentine's Day posts, there's some very adorable, if I do say so myself, printables that you don't even have to go to this much trouble, which you can see this is actually not much trouble. But those you can just print. There are some print and color ones. They're just plain print and write your name on the back. Also, this is my parental advice. If you have really little kids, it can be totally stressful and horrible getting to write their name on the bottom of everyone. So my advice to you is, after hours of this, when my kids were little, one especially struggles with writing, and it was like torture. And I look back and I think, why did I do that? That's so stupid. Stupid Valentine's Day. So get them to write a couple themselves, even if you do a couple a day, and then just do the rest yourself. Okay? Doesn't matter. You'll look back and you'll be like, why did I care? There, done. So, see, and they're almost dry even. So that's what it looks like. I don't even know how close to the camera I can get. Okay, so I actually did these ones so I didn't wreck my other ones when I cut it. And I might not anyway because it is so dry already. But you want to see how embarrassing my measuring is? Also, I feel very like, this is a Cricut cutting one, but the line is right on like 4.5 inches and I just can't do it. Okay, so this is the 8 side, so I can go right on 4 inches. And then also I eyeball it because clearly that's not even. Must be whatever. I'm just gonna stop talking because I'm making myself sound more and more dumb. Okay, so that's eyeballing it pretty straight. Okay. Also, I like to cut at the bottom, and that always makes it harder too. So you can do these in thirds, you can do them in halves, whatever. You can do them whatever random measurement comes out when you cut them. Again, doesn't matter. People are going to pull them home and recycle them. Okay. Ready? Aren't they cute? So you can see this wall is a little off. Excuse me. So I might throw another couple hearts so it looks more complete. And then I'm going to write on the back, Happy Valentine's. And you know what? I'm not even going to write that. I'm just going to write love. Hilarious. Okay, if you're my friends and you get one of these, try to ignore how little effort I put into it. See? So cute. Okay, so that's all you do. That's the super basic watercolor 8-in-1 shot Valentine's Day cards. Bye. It's not turning off. Maybe it never turned on.